Let's take a look at this problem. We got f of x equals absolute value of x minus 1, g of x equal to x squared minus 5. And we want to find, our first part, we want to find g of f, or a composition of g and f, of 0, which we can rewrite as g of f of 0. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to focus on this inside here. So we want to find f of 0. Well, f of 0, if I plug 0 in for x, I'm going to have the absolute value of 0 minus 1, absolute value of negative 1, which gives us positive 1. And then second, then we want to focus on this outer. Well, we just said that f of 0 is equal to 1. So we can replace the f of 0 inside here with 1. So we're going to be finding g of 1. Well, g of 1, I'll plug 1 in for the x. I got 1 squared minus 5. Gives us 1 minus 5, or gives us negative 4. So negative 4 is our answer. Now b, we want to find composition of f and g of negative 1, which we can rewrite as f of g of negative 1. Again, first we're going to focus on what's inside the parentheses. So we're going to find g of negative 1. Well, we'll go to our g of x, which is x squared minus 5. And we're going to have negative 1 squared minus 5. That gives us 1 minus 5, or negative 4. And then second, we're going to focus on this outer. We now know what g of negative 1 is, so I can replace the g of negative 1 inside here with negative 4. So we're really finding f of negative 4. And f of x is the absolute value of x minus 1, so we're going to have the absolute value of negative 4 minus 1, which is absolute value of negative 5, which gives us a positive 5. Now c. We want to find a composition of f and f of 2, which we rewrite as f of 2. Now again, we're going to focus on what's inside first, the inner. So we're going to be finding f of 2. So I'm going to go to my f of x, which is absolute value of x minus 1. I'll plug 2 in for the x. So I got the absolute value of 2 minus 1, absolute value of 1, or that just simply gives us 1. And then second I'll do is I'll focus on the outer now. So I'm going to take that 1 I just found, and because that's f of 2 is equal to 1, so I'll take that 1 I just found and plug it in where the f of 2 is. So I'd give f of 1. So f of x is the absolute value of x minus 1, so I'll put 1 in for the x. 1 minus 1 is 0, so the absolute value of 0 is 0. D. Yeah, I'll get there eventually. Okay, D is composition G and F of negative 3, which I'm going to rewrite as G of F of negative 3. And again, we're first focused on the inner, F of negative 3. f of negative 3, I'm going to take my f of x, which is absolute value of x minus 1, put negative 3 in for the x. That gives us the absolute value of negative 4, which gives us positive 4. And then second, I'm going to focus on the outer. Because remember what this is. This is equal to f of negative 3. f of negative 3 is equal to 4. Which means we'll replace the f of negative 3 right here with 4. So we're really finding g of 4. So I go to my g of x, which is x squared minus 5. And where my x is, I put in parentheses. So I'm going to have 4 squared minus 5. So I got 16 minus 5, or 11. Okay, and we got f of x is equal to absolute value of x minus 1, and g of x is equal to x squared minus 5. And the next part, A, B, C, D, E, I guess. We're wanting to find composition of f and g of 1/2. Well, this is f of g of 1/2. So I'm first focus on the inner. So I'm going to find g of 1/2. So g of 1/2, I go to my g of x, which is x squared minus 5, and where my x was, I put in parentheses. Now I'm putting 1/2 in there. Now 1/2 squared is 1/4, 1/2 times 1/2, minus, and I'll put the 5 as 5 over 1, because I want to get a common denominator. Common denominator would be 4, so I'm multiply top and bottom by 4 in the second fraction. 5 times 4 is 20, 1 times 4 is 4. And then 1 minus 20 gives us negative 19/4. Now, another way you could have done that is the negative 5 to the side, use mixed number rule. Negative 5 times 4 is negative 20, plus 1 is negative 19. Now I'll focus on this outer, because I now know what g of 1/2 is equal to. G of 1/2 is equal to negative 19/4. So, since I know g of 1/2 is equal to that, I can replace the g of 1/2 right here with negative 19/4. So we got f of negative 19/4. So we'll go to our f of x, which is absolute value of x minus 1, and I'll replace the x with negative 19/4. Now I could get a common denominator again, or I could just use mixed number rule. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4, plus negative 19 gives us negative 23. And then denominator stays 4. And the absolute value of a negative 23/4 is a positive 23/4. And that's our answer. And last part, we want to find a composition of f and f of negative 2, which we write as f of negative 2. We'll focus on the inner first. So we're going to be finding f of negative 2. So we'll go to our f of x and replace our x with parentheses. And we plug in negative 2. So negative 2, negative 1 is negative 3, and absolute value of negative 3 is 3. So that's what f of negative 2 is equal to. So then we'll focus on this outer part here. I now know what f of negative 2 is equal to. It's equal to 3, so I can replace the f of negative 2 inside the parentheses here with 3. And I want to find f of 3. Now f is the absolute value of x minus 1, so I'll put 3 in for the x. I got the absolute value of 3 minus 1, which is the absolute value of 2, which gives us 2. And that'd be that problem.